Hey. Sorry, I'm just happy it's working again. I'm having so many issues lately. So, Dong Kong Kong chased by a giant mech, and it's a flash forward. Flash forwards can serve a lot of purposes. They can be a hook, they can mislead or give you wrong information, or they can try to gauge the audience's response on things so they can kind of like sometimes a developer or a writer or whatever will have some of the vague ideas of a story written out in their head, but they haven't gotten the details yet. So they put the vague things in a flash forward to kind of gauge people's reaction to that, and in some cases actually use that as a way to develop the actual details. In this case, it's just a mech scene. I'm pretty sure it's actually only there so they have an action scene in the first half of the episode. You'll notice they just kind of skip most of the actual scene later when we get to it. Anyway, so Beast Boy is Garfield Logan. I did have to look up the name. The kid who got the transfusion, and I'm assuming the powers of came from the transfusion. Now that's actually very interesting to me because that means hypothetically this could be done deliberately if they really wanted to, which is the kind of thing that the bad guys would probably consider doing without hesitation. So I guess we'll see where they go with that, if anywhere. So then Megan psychically links them all so they can understand each other. Cool. Good way to get past the translation problems. You notice she didn't even ask permission. I noticed that. And we'll circle back to that later. So then they come up with the idea for a Zeta shield to prevent teleportation on or off world. Within, sure, but nothing through the shield, which actually makes a weird amount of sense. You can't beam through the shields unless you can do it this week, right? But I have to say I loved hearing Morgan Shepard again. He played, I don't remember his name, the Rannon elder scientist, and he's awesome. Some of you may know him from Star Trek, some of you may know him from Civilization 5. He's got a great voice. It was just nice hearing him. So, Beast Boy, I don't like him that much yet. Granted, I've only seen 2 episodes, but so far I'm just looking at him like, really, dude? I mean, I get it. He's a kid who lost his mother, who didn't earn his powers. I mean, I could say things about Wally, but Wally at least was maturing throughout his show, and, let's be honest, earned his powers. He actually worked for it, and had some degree of understanding of what he was getting into. Whereas Beast Boy just kind of stumbled into them, and, again, still a kid, so, yeah. I suppose we'll see where that goes. At this point, he wouldn't even be that old, too. He'd probably be a teenager at this point with the 5-year jump. So then the mech shows up. Yeah, cool. There's this nice bit where Connor is talking to her, and she's like, I'm from a bajillion light years away. You'll never even see me again. I've found a weird thing where some people, and I don't actually understand this personally, so this is speaking from observation and intellectual deduction, as well as analysis from actual psychological profiles, but apparently a lot of people really enjoy the anonymity of confession. I don't mean the religious thing, although that's actually related. I mean like just confessing something to someone who is not connected to you. You apparently are more likely to just be honest with people who are strangers, basically, who are anonymous or who you are anonymous towards. And then we have the idea of him going ahead and confessing, what was going on with her. This is when we find out that he's not aging externally, but he's aging internally, which makes approximately no sense. Like, I'm not even, I know, DC Science, it's just make him not age, or make him age. One of the two, just pick one. Don't go with this in-betweeny thing. Anyways, so this is when we find out that he left her. It's already been obvious that they're not a couple, but he left her because she left him no choice. And you notice how she psychically linked without permission earlier. So they notice immediately when the psychic link goes away. No surprise. And I have to admit, I laughed when Alana tried the Jabberwock trick. Hello, Jabberwock. But then at the end of the episode, she coma nukes the brain of one of the Krematorians or whatever, the thief people. Yeah, I'm guessing that's the general reason why that breakup happened, and I'm guessing that's kind of the arc she's on. Now, that's interesting to me because, as weird as this may sound, it would be logical for him to go down the, let's call it, anti-hero arc of being, darker and more willing to take risk. The Red Arrow thing, right? But indeed, it seems he's done the exact opposite of that. I'd like to think that that's partially because of Soups' influence, that he's actually been reaching out to the kid. Whereas, by contrast, Megan seems to have done the exact opposite. She's gone from la 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 to, yeah, no. Or has she? Because if you're paying attention, there were several indications that underneath her cheerful disposition was someone who was vicious and unrelenting. Now, that's not an insult. I'm not saying that as a bad thing towards her. Please don't wipe out my mind. But it's just, well, there's a saying on TV tropes, beware the nice ones. And that saying is there for a reason. And I have a feeling that what happened is that she basically has less reason to portray the nice as of now. So all you're left with is the rest, which was already there. Now, all this is speculation, and we'll see how incredibly wrong I am going forward. But I wanted to get that out before we get to the next episode next time.